Welcome back. Today we are diving deep into the performance of some of the most popular P2P lending platforms. By the end of this video, you will know exactly which platforms are transparent enough to share their portfolio quality with investors and which ones operate as black boxes, keeping crucial information hidden. Now, if you're thinking, why does the performance even matter? I just go to the platforms that offer the highest interest rates. You might not be alone. But here's the thing, chasing high returns without understanding the platform's loan book quality can be risky. Short-term gains might look appealing, but long-term success in P2P lending is all about managing risks. Experienced investors always analyze platform data, assess the management's track record, and observe how decisions are made during market turbulences. That's because at the end of the day, the performance of a loan book is directly tied to the return you will see in the long run. And let's not forget, P2P lending always carries risks. In the worst case, you could lose your entire investment. That's why monitoring platforms, even after your initial research, is crucial to maximizing your portfolio's performance. Alright, now that we have set the stage, let's break down the performance of each platform. Mintos, Estate and Peerberry continue to dominate the European P2P lending market. Mintos saw a slight decrease in funds under recovery from suspected lenders last month. The platform also introduced a new batch of notes from Esto. However, over 22% of its entire portfolio is still in recovery, including loans from suspended lenders and pending payments. Estate experienced a minor decline in recovered funds from active markets, while its outstanding portfolio shrank by 0.57%. Unfortunately, as we mentioned in our last video, there's been no progress in Germany, where defaulted loans remain a major issue. Meanwhile, Peerberry saw a 0.46% increase in its portfolio size compared to February. All updates from the platform have been positive, mainly focusing on the scheduled repayments of loans. However, loan availability remains limited, making it challenging for investors to allocate new funds efficiently. Right now, Peerberry ranks as one of the top performing platforms in Europe, managing over 117 million euro of investors' funds, with zero funds in recovery. Since its launch in 2017, Peerberry has funded over 2.9 billion euro in loans, maintaining a record of no principal losses for investors, which is a remarkable achievement in the industry. Another strong performer is Robocash, currently holding second place among the best platforms. The platform has been operating for 8 years without any negative incidents. However, its outstanding portfolio declined by 2.4% last month, continuing a trend that started in the second quarter of 2024. This suggests that its parent company, Una Financial, isn't actively seeking additional funding from retail investors at the moment. One noteworthy update from Robocash is its new interest to the bank feature, which allows investors to cash out interest directly to their bank accounts rather than reinvesting it or letting it sit idle in their account balance. Another platform with a flawless track record is Escated. The company continues to expand its outstanding portfolio while maintaining investor protection. However, loan availability on the primary market remains extremely limited, driving more investors to explore opportunities on the secondary market. If you are considering buying loans on the secondary market, I highly recommend checking out our Academy guide, where we explain how to avoid losses. Even a 1% premium can drastically reduce your returns, so understanding the mechanics of secondary market purchases is crucial. The Lithuanian platform in rental continues to excel in its niche. Last month, it surpassed a total funding volume of 40 million euro, all while maintaining a flawless portfolio performance. The platform has no defaulted loans, and most newly listed projects get funded within hours, which is a strong sign of investor confidence. Next on the list is Swapper, a platform that has been operating since 2016. After years of limited transparency, it finally started sharing some performance data with investors. In February, Swapper's outstanding portfolio increased to 22.8 million euro, with a 0% default rate. Its main loan originator, One Finance, also published an investor report revealing a 2 million euro profit for 2024 and announcing expansion into the Peruvian lending market. Finton continues to deliver strong performance, with its third lot for the seed project in Costa Rica nearly fully funded. The remaining capital for the land acquisition will be covered by the VORF fund, and in the upcoming weeks, investors will receive official documentation supporting the land acquisition and mortgage registration. Meanwhile, Finton remains active in Prague, offering rental property investments and development loans. As we discussed in our recent interview, the platform has also introduced loans secured by a first-rank mortgage, further enhancing investor protection. Indemo also continues to grow its portfolio, recently launching cashback campaigns to attract new capital. Investors also received another debt repayment update with an average yield of 21.9%, which is a remarkable return in today's market. Another platform that has improved its transparency is Lande. Currently, it manages around 1 million euro of investors' funds, all of which are exposed to its lender in Mexico. Here's a quick look at the loan statuses. At the time of recording, all loans on Lande are covered by a buyback guarantee, meaning any loans with a repayment delay of more than 60 days are repurchased by the lender. When this happens, both the principal and accrued interest are automatically credited to investors' accounts. That wraps up our list of platforms with no defaulted loans that could negatively impact investors' return or liquidity. As you have probably noticed, performance is key, but so is the track record. When evaluating P2P lending platforms, it's essential to consider the bigger picture. The larger the portfolio under management, the longer the platform has been operating, and the more transparent it is with its investor community, the better. In our comparison, Peerberry clearly outperforms Lande, even though both platforms have zero defaulted loans. Peerberry has a proven track record and a larger investor base and a much stronger risk management framework. That being said, investing on top-performing platforms isn't always easy. Loan availability remains limited, making it difficult to allocate new funds efficiently. That brings us to another important factor. Can you actually get your money invested without spending hours manually searching for loans? Well, experienced investors keep track of the available funds and redistribute them across top platforms that meet their investment criteria. Let's now cover platforms that can be considered suitable alternatives with a default rate of below 10%. Income Marketplace stands out with a relatively high interest rates and a solid portfolio quality. Last month, the platform funded loans at an average interest rate of 12.26%. While the overall portfolio size declined, there was also a reduction in funds in recovery, which is a positive sign for investors. Most available loans on Income have longer durations, making it a good option if you prefer a hands-off investment approach and want to avoid frequently reallocating principal and interest from repaid short-term loans. Meanwhile, Capitalia has successfully expanded its portfolio. However, we also noticed a rise in the loans with repayment delays exceeding 90 days. In our system, these loans are classified as in recovery, which raises concerns about the performance stability. On the positive side, the funding speed for new projects remains high, showing strong investor demand. However, the Capitalia team still has work to do. Bringing down funds in recovery to below 5% should be a key priority moving forward. At the time of recording, Lande's statistics page was under maintenance, preventing us from retrieving the latest data. According to the CEO, the team is working on optimizing the page's performance to accommodate the platform's growing loan book, with the updated version expected to go live in the upcoming days. Despite this, Lande released its January report offering some key insights, particularly on loan repayment statistics. One of the most notable takeaways is that loans backed by livestock and harvest have the highest share of 90+ day delays. As a result, Lande is shifting away from these collateral types and focusing more on land and machinery-backed projects, which offer stronger security for investors. The report also provides a breakdown of debt collection stages. As you can see, most of the 90+ day overdue loans are already in the enforcement phase, with bailiffs actively working to recover the value of the collateral. However, one key improvement would be greater transparency regarding actual loan amounts in recovery rather than just the number of loans. This would give investors a clearer picture of the total funds being recovered, not just the volume of cases. Moving on to Crowdpier, the platform successfully increased its outstanding portfolio last month. Meanwhile, the total funds in recovery remain unchanged month over month. However, as a relative percentage of the outstanding portfolio, this amount declined, which suggests improving overall loan performance. Not all platforms are delivering strong portfolio performances. Some actively mislead investors with false data or conceal important information, making their operations appear more stable than what they actually are. This is especially true for platforms that fail to disclose any performance data at all. If you want a clearer understanding of a platform's track record and management, I highly recommend checking out our in-depth reviews on P2P Empire, where we cover some of the less known information about specific platforms so you can make informed decisions. One platform that has been frequently requested by the community is Nectaro. a regulated marketplace offering loans from lenders under the Dinino Group. It provides some of the highest average interest rates for loans in Moldova, Romania, and the Philippines. Following our interview with the CEO, Nectaro took a step forward by publishing a statistics page offering investors a first glimpse at some key data. However, at the time of recording, the platform does not disclose its total outstanding portfolio, which is a crucial metric for assessing the overall exposure to specific lenders and tracking portfolio growth. Another area needing improvement is loan performance data. The buyback executed category lacks clarity, making it difficult for investors to understand what it actually represents. Additionally, the platform only provides performance insights for individual countries, but not for its entire portfolio, which limits transparency. We have communicated these concerns to Nectaro's management, and it's now up to them to implement these improvements if they want to be fairly represented in our performance rankings. From what I've seen so far, Nectaro is pretty receptive to feedback, so we might get access to more data in the future. So that wraps up our latest overview of the P2P lending market with a focus on loan book performance across major platforms. If you want to stay on top of the latest developments, check out our newsfeed where we break down key industry updates in real time. For deeper insights into specific platforms and their long-term performance, head over to our detailed reviews, many of which include exclusive interviews with founders and CEOs. Additionally, you can use our P2P lending calculator, which automatically calculates your return based on your invested amount on specific platforms. The calculation always considers the latest average interest rate, which gives you a more accurate yield prediction as long as you keep your funds invested. We often get questions from the community about platforms we don't cover, and in most cases, there is a good reason for that. Simply put, we don't believe in their long-term sustainability. Many new platforms operate as black boxes lacking transparency or credibility, making them not worth considering in the first place. We already monitor and report on numerous platforms we don't recommend, so adding even more to the list would only increase our workload without providing real value. At the end of the day, we prefer to focus on platforms that genuinely offer investors a valuable opportunity rather than wasting time on dubious or high-risk marketplaces. If you have found this video valuable, hit the like button and subscribe to not miss out on future updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.